For recall, you're going to say, Olepop, come. And then as soon as he turns to look at you, that's when you're going to mark yes and begin praising him all the way to you. Marking yes as soon as he looks at you is super important. This is what gets him moving. He knows he did the right thing, and it's going to get him following through with the cue. It's also important that we keep that praise up all the way to us before the reward, because that keeps his attention on us, keeps him focused and coming all the way to us.
Good boy.
You can practice this in the yard at home
Olepop, come.
2 ways. One is via games that you'll see in your notes, and the second is just what I call real life practices, which is what I'm doing in these videos. And that is call him, reward him, let him go back to playing or whatever. 5-10 minutes later, call him again, reward him, let him go back. If he's doing good in the backyard, it really helps to practice in other locations, either fenced-in areas or on a long leash in the front yard, to help build up his ability to do it in other places and around different distractions. Leave it means back away from the thing that you're heading towards and look at me. So here we're practicing with dropping treats to mimic real-life situations where food gets dropped. You can drop it, the food, and then as soon as you say leave it, if he backs away and looks at you, yes, and then reward him. In real life, you're not likely to have the treat on you, so what you're going to do is a praise party to the treats. So you're going to say yes, and then run with him and praising him all the way to go get him a treat and reward. This is a great one to even get your kid involved in, having them holding the treats or dropping the treats while you say leave it, just because kids tend to be an easier target for the dogs when it comes to stealing food from them. So practicing outside of real life moments with her as well is going to be really helpful for Olepop. You can continue to build this and challenge him by doing things like setting food in a bowl on the floor, or leaving the room, or even just practicing in the kitchen and like kind of putting the treats on the counter and even knocking them off the counter. Again, the idea is that we're just mimicking a lot of different real life situations in a training format, so he can get a lot of practice under his belt outside of those real life moments that are going to be harder for him. But also making sure in those real life moments that we are rewarding him, because this is a big ask for a lot of dogs. And so we want to make sure that we're rewarding him so he knows he's doing the right thing and that he will continue to do that for us.
Ollie. Good boy. Nice job, buddy.
Leave it.
Yes, good boy. Good boy.
Drop it means let go of the thing that is in your mouth.
Yes.
So we practiced a lot with like high value bones. You can even practice this with things outside that he's allowed to have, toys, sticks, pine cones, but just it's good to build in that real life practice. So ask him to drop it, reward him, and then he can go right back to it. Tug is a really great game for Olepop. This is one that he's going to work on a couple different things, including drop it, some impulse control, as well as helping with nipping and biting. One thing that really helps the nipping and biting is giving our dogs an outlet for it that's appropriate. And so chewing items is great for some things, but that doesn't really satisfy the play nipping that we see often, especially with kids and dogs. So playing tug is a really great way to give him an outlet for that. I've found that with a lot of dogs that are having an excessive problem with nipping and biting, that playing tug twice a day, even for just small amounts of time, for about 5 to 10 minutes, twice a day, cures a really good chunk of that, because we're giving them an outlet for that bitey behavior in a way that's appropriate and fun for both of us. Also, while playing this, we have so many other benefits, including practicing our drop it. And if we're playing this daily, then he's getting daily drop it practice, which is really helpful for when he does grab the things we don't want him to. We're also practicing some impulse control with the rules we've kind of set. So when we say drop it, he's going to let go of it. We're going to give him a treat. Then before he can have it back, we're going to ask him to sit. Typically what I do is wait a few seconds to see if he'll sit on his own. If he does, then we continue the play. If he doesn't, I'm going to ask for the sit. But I do want to allow him time to process himself and think about what he could do to keep the game going, which is sitting down. And so because after you start doing that for a while, they kind of pick up the game and the rules. Then we can also kind of build in some practice on weight, and that he's not allowed to take that toy until he hears us say yes, and then he can go back for the toy again. Place means go there, lay down, and stay there until released. So we're going to say place, pointing towards the bed. Once he gets there, we're going to reward by tossing a treat onto the bed. This is really important because we want him to know that the food comes to him on the bed, that he doesn't need to try to get up and meet us for it. And if we're giving it from our hand to his mouth, he is likely to start trying to get up and kind of proactively meet us for that treat. So you're going to place the treat on the bed, and then you're going to practice walking around. Walk around, add distance, build in some distractions, build in just pure duration of time between each reinforcement, coming back and periodically rewarding him. The goal is that over time, as you practice, you're going to space out how much time comes between those treats until eventually you don't really need them, maybe 1 or 2 throughout the whole thing, depending on the time he is staying on his place. When you're ready to let him up, you're going to cue free. That lets him know he is free to get up. You do not need to reward the release. The reward is that he gets to get up and move at his own free will. We don't want to be rewarding that with a treat because getting up is the easy part. Staying is the hard part. So I want that to be the part that we're rewarding the heaviest. If he gets up and we did not release him, then it's simply send him back, say place, point back to the bed, wait for him to get on, and then do not reward right away. This is very important. You want to make him work for it a little bit, so it can just be even waiting a few seconds or completely doing the thing you were attempting to do in the first place, then coming back and rewarding him. The reason we don't want to reward right away is because if we do, we can get stuck really easily in this loop of he gets off, we send him back, he gets a treat. He gets off, we send him back and he gets a treat. So we want to make sure we don't reward right away. If he's getting up repeatedly, kind of back to back, then we do need to kind of take a step back and figure out what is happening. Is there something that we are doing that is too big of an ask for him at that moment? So maybe we're trying a new distraction and it's too difficult. Let's say, for instance, we try to go out of sight and that's just too much and he can't do that. So then what we want to do is break that down into baby steps. So maybe we just walk to the corner and then come back, reward. Then we go to the corner and maybe we put 1 foot, right? We go maybe a quarter of the way around the corner, then come back and reward. And then we go halfway around and reward, right? We're breaking it down into feasible baby steps that he can do, and then building up to our ultimate goal, which was going out of sight. Once you're out of sight, right, it's going out of sight for 1 second, coming back and rewarding, then 2 seconds, and so on. So if he's repeatedly getting up, we do need to kind of take note of what's happening, why maybe he's struggling, and figure out from there, did we try something too difficult like a distraction? Did we put too much duration between reinforcement and he's not ready for that? Or did we try to walk too far away? There are 2 main ways to work on place. One is in a formal training session like I'm doing here. So those sessions are outside of real life moments where you're just focused on training, and specifically training and building in things like distractions or distance or just overarching duration. But you're really focused on kind of building in all those little things and figuring out where he needs more work. Another great way to practice in these formal training sessions is by getting your daughter involved. It's one of my favorite things for dogs that live with children is playing a game of Simon Says. So have him on place, you'll be the one rewarding him, and then you're going to play Simon Says with your daughter. You're going to ask her to do crazy kid things. Run, jump, roll around, scream, toss a dog toy across the room, right? All the crazy things that kids might do. And then we're going to be periodically rewarding him for staying. The goal here is that we're building in a distraction that is realistic for him. He's going to be living with a child, as well as him learning that he doesn't always have to be involved in all crazy kid stuff that's happening. He can just be sitting back, watching, and relaxing. And the second way to practice is in real life contexts where you would want him to be doing place. So this could be while eating dinner, while a guest is coming in the house. This could be while you're working at your desk. Lots of different options. For me, the main time I do this is during dinner. I want all the dogs on their place. So what you'll see here is we're going to pull the bed in close enough. And for you, that might be even closer than I currently have Ollie in this video, but pulling him closer that you feel confident that you can get him those treats periodically. And then throughout dinner, while you're eating, you're going to just rewarding him, just like we did in those other sessions. And if he gets up, send him back. Wait a little bit, start rewarding again. If he's staying, he keeps getting treats throughout dinner, with the goal being that over time, you're spacing how often those treats come. The other thing that's really important and why I love practicing in these real life contexts, other than it gives him real life practice, is that dogs are really great at pattern recognition, and they will understand if we do something pretty consistently. So for me, that's dinner time. Every single night we eat dinner, the beds go down, the dogs know that's what we're going to do. And so what you'll start to see is when that bed gets placed in the kitchen, or if the bed is always kind of, you have an area in the kitchen or dining area where it can always be, what you'll see is as soon as you start getting ready for dinner, he is already right on his bed. He's already waiting because he knows this is routine. He doesn't even need to be told place because he knows that during dinner, if he goes to his place, he is going to be rewarded for that. And so that's why I love that kind of consistency of practicing in situations where you would want him to actually do this in real time. And then, of course, just like in those formal training sessions, make sure you are releasing him with free so that he knows he is good to get up. If he gets up and you didn't send him back, but you were about to let him up, go ahead, still send him back, tell him to place, and then immediately release him. That's really important that he's learning he is not supposed to get up until he's released. And last tip for practicing this around dinner time or other food related times is make sure you're using a treat that you don't mind touching and then touching your own food. I personally do not want to touch freeze-dried beef liver and then touch my own food. So I like to use something like string cheese that's not really messy, and I don't mind touching and then touching my own food. So I just will grab a stick of string cheese out of the fridge, sit down for dinner, open it up, sit it next to me on the table, and then I can just tear off little pea-sized pieces throughout dinner to be rewarding with. And of course, you can see here in this video that Olepop has done amazing with this. He has done such a great job, even with his friend Arlo there getting up a lot and walking around. Olepop is staying throughout the entire dinner, maybe getting up once, if any.
Sit.
Stay is essentially like place without a dog bed. So we're going to ask him to sit or down, tell him to stay, walk around, add in those distractions, that movement and duration, come back, reward, and then release with free. The big difference between place and stay for me is the duration of time I'm asking it of them. So for stay, I'm going to save this thing for shorter things that are like a few minutes and under, something just quick that I need him to stay for. And then I'm going to use place for any of those things that are like longer duration. It can also be used for short-term duration. I use it a lot for small things, even with my own dogs. But also place can be versatile and be used for long-term things like dinners that are 30, 45 minutes to an hour long. And just like place, stay still needs released. So you got to make sure every time you release him with free. If you didn't release him, it's a reset, just like we did with place. Wait means stop and don't go any further. So when we say wait, we're drawing an imaginary line and telling them they cannot cross that line. But unlike place and stay, they can be in a sit, stand, or down position, or even move around as long as they don't cross that line. So when I'm practicing, I'm going to say wait, I'm going to cross that line myself. And then if I'm going to do this for any kind of duration, then just like the other things, I'm going to periodically reward him for kind of holding duration on that wait. And the big difference here is that I'm going to toss that treat back behind the line to him, because similar to place, I want him to know the food comes to him back behind that line, not to try to meet me for it and get it from my hand. And then if I want him to cross the line, I can say free, and that lets him know he can go ahead and cross. This is really useful on things like stairs, so that you don't have a dog that is tripping you going up or down stairs, especially with like a young child. Or this is really great if there's like a room in the house, maybe your daughter's room, that you don't want him to follow you in, but you don't want to shut the door either while you're in there. So maybe you say wait as you go into the room and you do your thing, and then he knows he can go do something else. He doesn't have to stay at that door. It's not a stay. He just cannot come in the room with you. And you do your thing, and then you can come back out and shut the door, and you don't have to release him at that point. So that's a key difference between wait and then place and stay, is that it only needs released if you're going to let them cross the line. So if I'm taking him out for a walk and we go to the door and I say wait and I open the door, then I'm going to say free and let him go out the door with me. If I'm stepping out to pick up a package or do something else, then I'm going to tell him to wait, step out the door, do what I need to do, come back inside, shut the door, praise and reward him, but I do not need to say free because I'm not letting him cross the line. And also the door is now shut, so he cannot cross that line. So there's no worry of him breaking that boundary. Just like with the other cues, you want to practice this in training sessions where you're specifically setting aside time to practice around things like the front door or the garage door, pretty much any door that goes to the outside world where you wouldn't want him to dart out, as well as on things, like I said, stairs or other rooms that you don't want him to follow you into. So you want to practice in training sessions, but then also just build it into your regular life, right? So if there are stairs you're going up and down, you can ask him to wait before going up and down any of the stairs, anytime you're going to take him out on a leash, or anytime there is a package at the front door. These are all great times to kind of just build in that regular real life practice. And of course, just like with anything else, it's helpful to practice this in different locations and in different situations so that we can build his ability to do this no matter where you might be with him. Yes, good boy. Nice job, buddy. All right, so I'm out for a walk with Ollie. Yes. So the main thing we're working on to kind of weed out any of that pulling is what we call rewarding good choices. And so this just means when he's walking the way we want him to, he's walking nicely at our side. Yes! We're going to mark and reward him for that. It's really important when you do this that you mark and then put your hand right at your side so that he knows all the good stuff happens right here. Come on, Olepop. Let's keep going. And so this is really important that we're helping him learn that all the good stuff happens right next to us. Yes! Good boy. So good choices we can be rewarding are walking right beside us. Come on. Walking a little in front, but that leash is still loose. Offering us attention, especially when there are distractions around. Come on. Good boy. Yes. Good boy. So any of those things are good. Basically, when he's walking the way we want him to, we want to let him know he's doing a good job. Come on, Ollie. And we want to reward pretty frequently, especially in an environment that maybe is more distracting or someplace new like the park. He's walking really calmly here, but we're in the neighborhood, nothing too exciting, but going to a new location like a park where it's busier, he may be more apt to try to pull. So we want to make sure we are upping the rewards in those moments. Come on, Olepop. Let's keep walking, buddy. Let's go. Yes. It's also important that when you reward that you're using the hand closest to him, because if you reward across your body using your opposite hand, what's going to happen is you're going to have a dog that starts meeting you in front because you're reaching over. And we don't want that. We want him right at our side. Come on, Ollie. So we're going to make sure we reward with that hand that is closest to him. Yes. And whether he's a little behind or a little in front, we're still going to just place our hand right at our side and reward him there. He has to come meet us. Let's go. Good boy. So if he wants to stop and sniff, as long as he's within length of leash and not pulling us, we're going to let him. But then if he doesn't move on when we're ready to move on, we can just cue him, let's go, and tell him, okay, now we're moving. Good boy, Ollie. Yes. Good boy. Good boy. So again, even if he's walking a little in front, but he's keeping that leash nice and loose like he is there, yes, we're going to make sure we reward that. And then of course, him looking back is great because that tells us he knows exactly what he's doing. He went to the front. He knew he had so much leash. Come on, let's go. There's a wind chime back there in somebody's house that's bothering him. Yes. And he's checking in. He knows he's hit kind of his limit. And so I love to see that because that lets me know that he has learned kind of that boundary and figured that out. And then anytime you want to change directions or turn around, we're just going to say, this way. Come on. Good boy. Good job. Come on, Ollie Popper. Good boy. Yes. Good boy. And again, notice if he's in front, yes, and I mark yes, he still has to come back and kind of meet me at my side for that treat. I'm not reaching up to him. Yes. Good boy. Good boy. Ollie, over. Yes. So we use over. Oh, you got yourself tangled, buddy. There we go. We use over. Let's go. As a cue if a car is coming, or if you were walking on a tight pathway and a bike or something was coming, or a stroller, and you just wanted to move him off to the side. So, over. Ollie, over. So over just means get off to the side. Yes, we'll reward, and then when we're ready to move, let's go. We're going to use that let's go cue. Nice job, Ollie. Yes. Good boy. Yes. Again, he is walking at the end of the leash and he's using all the leash we have, but he is not pulling. Yes, good boy. If he does start to pull, you're just going to say, this way. Turn him around, take a few steps back, circle him around. Come on, Ollie. and reset. Yes. Then as you reset, get ready to start marking those good choices again. Yes. And you want to try to catch him with that marker before he's hitting the end of the leash. Let's go. Yes. So I'm going to mark him before he even has a chance to pull the majority of the time. If he starts to pull this way, we're going to turn around. Yes, good boy. Good boy, and do a little circle and reset. Yes, good boy. Come on. Good job, Olepop. Normally he's only pulling a little bit for me when we're headed back and he knows kind of where we're going. Yes. But even then, you'll see, normally he hits the end of the leash and then he immediately lightens up because he realizes that he's hit his boundary. Yes. Good boy. And that's amazing. And we want to make sure those are the moments that we're catching the most to reward. Good boy, Olepop. Good boy. And that's a wrap on Olepop's training.